All right, it's Wednesday, November 8th, just before 6:40 a.m. Just getting started here. Let's see what we have for our channel. Looking like something like that, maybe. All right, so I think that's what I'm looking at. We'll get a second entry long here.
Order submitted.
Case. Right here at yesterday's highs. First entry short. And got an inside bar. So second entry long, but no entry here.
Order canceled.
No signal bar. I saw that the Apex changed the code to 71% now as of today. So looks like that's what it's going to be. Not sure how long that was for. Yeah, until November 28th. So the rest of the month, basically. I'm not sure why they do 71%. I don't think it's worth buying until it's 80%. All right, I'm going to pause here until something sets up. I'm just going to see here. Actually,
Order submitted.
first entry short, second entry short. Maybe a possible failure. You got a break. Sideways EMA. Golfing feels somewhat dangerous right now. Inside bar. A-tick risk.
Order submitted. I would expect to get the new high. Order filled.
All right. Nice. So failed second entry short, key entry point, EMA. I'd say trend break, expect new high. All good reasons to take it. Very objective. And we got the +8 ticks. So I liked everything about that. It's not like a substantial break, but clear enough break that I figured on the failure, we should at least get to the new high here. So that felt like a very easy trade to take for Pat's entry. Let me update the stats here, and I'll be right back. All right, so I like that one. There's another failure here. First entry short, second entry short, going right into this resistance. I don't know, far away from the EMA. I'm not taking that trade. I already have maybe a break, a new high. Just looking. I don't even know where I would measure this to. Maybe here, but I'd say that's kind of like maybe a first idea. So I'm now 3-1 with Pat's strategy on YouTube. Failed second entry short. First time I've taken that in the series, and 41-11 overall, inching back up to the 80%. And I traded 2 contracts on this PA number 5, and just one still on this one. We're still very limited room, I think $400 or so. Let's see here. Yeah, right at $400 from the trailing. So still have to just be careful with this one. This one has the full drawdown, $1,500 drawdown. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more aggressive with this one and trade 2 contracts. And all right, off to a good start. Got a trade in the first 10 minutes of being on. Takes the pressure off for the day to just look for good solid setups. See what else we get here. So now we have a clear break. When this happens, when I have like a slight break that isn't completely clear, or it's just not, it's not completely believable. I'm a little hesitant to take a trade thinking that we're going to retest the high, because this may have already been the retest of the high. I mean, that's what I traded for, was a retest of this high. So going to be careful in this spot over here. So yeah, this is a good example of first entry long, second entry long. But I don't trust the failure, and I don't trust the second entry long. So I just don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's going to want to retest the high, act as if that's not really a convincing break, or what. So maybe the second entry longs just got trapped. I'm just not going to take a short right now. I'll wait for a better spot where I can better understand, something as clear as this was to me, that I don't have to guess. Clearly the failed second entry long, or the second entry long failure, was good. I had a feeling it would be, trapping the longs thinking that we're getting a retest, but just didn't want to take a chance in that spot. knowing that this, if you widen it out, you can make it so it's not really a break. So just being safe. Let's see what else we get. Looks like I have potential for a
Order
PB to the
submitted.
short side, which makes me a little nervous because it's outside of the channel already. Didn't happen there. Is this an overshoot or is it more like this? Let's say it's more like that. There's a PB down here. If it closes anywhere down here. I'm just looking at this too. It's already gone a measured move. So that's a PB bar before this one. It's only gone one tick below. I'm hesitant just because it's going right into the previous day close. I don't know why I'm hesitating. It's a big stop. I think I'm just hesitating because of this channel. It's at the bottom of the channel. It's already gone a measured move. And it's a big stop. Literally 97.25. It's like a 6-point stop. PBs usually work, so it should work. I just didn't like where it was in relationship to the channel. But there it goes. Let's see. Yeah, it would have worked.
Order canceled.
All right. Was this bar? So since I've been drawing the channels, that's the first time I've seen a PB form like a bottom of a channel like that. So it made me hesitate. It was also already after 2 legs down, made me hesitate. And I was still thinking like maybe it will want to retest the high. So, that's a situation where before I was drawing the channels, I would have taken that without hesitating. And we can see the PB for me, I'm 14-2, so I've only lost 2 out of 16 trades. So I really need to be taking that trade. I think PB has proved itself to be good enough to just take it. I'm always like this, because I'm not a very aggressive trader. So every time I get a win early, I tighten up and want to really make sure that the next trades I take are like perfect trades to minimize risking what I already have. So just one of those things. I'll get better over time, getting more aggressive and having confidence And also just seeing that even if it's at the bottom of the channel, you know, if all the rules are in place, it can still work just like this. Just move on down right to the target. So let's see what else we got here. I just changed my down channel to this, which means we already had a break, a new low in 1 bar here. So not looking for a second entry short. Yeah, see what we get. By the way, if I had had my channel this way, I would have been more comfortable to take this trade. So, actually, I think my bars just changed. I just did a reload of the historical, and the bars are different. Because now it would have been this bar. So that's interesting. I hate when I see the bars change. This is still the same, this trade. So something in here, but the data had gotten messed up, I guess. I've been doing that now. It's just reloading historical data, like once every half hour kind of thing, just in case. Because I've seen that I've taken trades in the past that fit my rules for my Nlts, and then I reload later, and then the bars are totally different. And sometimes I've had a loss in those situations. So, and it changes my indicator if the bars are different. So, anyway, it looks like first entry short, second entry short. There was no signal for it. Not sure what the market's doing at the moment. See if there's something from up here. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of possibility of something like that. First entry short, second entry short. In which case, maybe a lower high. I don't really have a reason to go short. Glad it didn't give a good signal. Yeah, I'm going to pause here and see what else we get. All right, so this wider down channel is looking pretty legitimate at the moment. Maybe there's something like this. This won't matter since this is, let me see. This is still the low on this candle. So if that's legitimate, you'd expect a new low of this. First entry long, second entry long, perhaps. Again, order ready. I'm
Order
not too sure I
submitted.
would take this here. It's a little shy of the key entry point. It's kind of there. Considering it, but not considering it. 9650. There's room to the low. First entry long, second entry long, failure underneath. Now it's at a key entry point. I'm going to take this. Yeah, it's engulfing, maybe. It's one of those, like, it's not a whole lot of room. It just feels a little weird to me. Yeah, see, I'm glad I didn't take it engulfing.
Order canceled.
That's like the thing. It's like you can easily get suckered into entering it right when it drops below. But I don't know, something about it just felt a little odd to me. So they get stopped out, and then maybe it still works, but unless you moved your stop to here, you're already gone. I just didn't even completely trust this down channel, even though it seems good. Yeah, now it probably works. I've seen this before. This is why I felt weird about it, because it's like the engulfing aspect of it, the close above the EMA, the flat EMA. If you enter on the true failure on the engulfing, it's just a spot where this can happen and then it can still go down to where you think it's going to go. Yeah. So for anyone that took that and it moved their stop up here, when it came back, they're out of the trade just to see it go where they thought it was going to go. Trading this strategy, and it's that kind of stuff that I would get caught in before that made me not want to trade the strategy anymore. But I'm giving it another shot. At least it looks like I've learned something that I was able to stay out of that. Or I guess the truth is, if I was in it, if I moved my stop to here when this was backing up, that would have kept me in the trade. Get the target. All right, I'm going to pause here. I don't see any setups. It's funny. Just looking back at this PB again, and now I'm realizing that when it changed and this became the PB bar, it actually didn't trigger. So it did trigger the original way it showed it. But now with these new bars, this would have been no trigger because this candle didn't go 2 ticks below. So I guess I'll leave this on here as a note to myself. That maybe I can talk about it in my review for anyone that doesn't watch these live recordings. But yeah, it's funny. It just like, it didn't seem quite right to me the way I saw it form live. And when I reset the historical data and it changed to this, it's not even a trade anymore. So I guess I was noticing something that was weird about it, to skip it, even though it would have worked if I took it the way I saw it, how the candles were originally. Anyway, something I noticed right now, just kind of looking back. So I'd say at some point, I don't know how long it'll take to get to this, but at some point, my goal is to be able. At some point, my goal is to be able to take like 1 or 2 trades and just call it a day. When I'm able to, one, have more accounts. I mean, if Apex is around a long time, the goal is eventually to get to 20 PA accounts. And, the goal is to be able to trade enough contracts that I've made the amount of money I want to make for the day in 1 trade or 2 trades and be able to stop. So if I'm ever able to get there in 1 trade and I have a day like this where I get a trade in the first 10 minutes, that would be the greatest thing ever. Work for 10 minutes, go back to sleep, enjoy the rest of the day. Since I'm on the West Coast, it's very early here when I start. I'm usually on by 6:45 in the morning. And, that's the dream, is to be able to wake up, come in here, take a trade or 2 trades in first 10 minutes or half hour or an hour, and then be done for the day. And I think that's completely doable. It doesn't even take a lot of contracts, actually. I mean, if you have 20 accounts, and you're trading 2 contracts, that could be enough right there, honestly, on 1 trade. So, I'm thinking long range and bigger picture. So these numbers aren't very impressive, 1 trade, and I tighten up and protect it the rest of the day. But it's because I'm thinking about, what if I had 20 accounts and I have, what's that value that I'm putting at full risk on the next trade that can get wiped away and be right again. So that's just how I think. Long term, I don't see me quitting. I feel like at some point I'm going to make this work and become profitable. So I'm just thinking about how I can have the right mentality as I move forward, and these numbers get bigger as totals for a single trade. All right, that's it. And by the way, this channel is clearly legitimate now. I mean, it's got plenty of tests, just no setups. So let's see. All right, just looking here, maybe a PB to the long side setting up.
Order submitted.
Let's see. Inside bar.
Order canceled.
I don't like to enter any of my Nlts setups with an inside bar. I'll enter a PATS like a failure like this on an inside bar, but I won't enter a PEB inside bar. And now it didn't trigger anyways before it pulled below it, so it doesn't matter. So 820 right now. Haven't seen any setups that I could take since this one that I skipped that turned out to not be a setup after the refreshed data, and just nothing I'll take in these tight ranges. So no setup here. Pause and see if something else comes up. All right, so I found a measured move, a leg down, another leg down. It just reached now. Just been choppy, rangy. Haven't seen any trades according to my rules, and just waiting. All right, I really have no idea what's happening here. I drew a bigger range, so you could say this is a triple test of the range, but I have a hard time taking those trades, so maybe that works. Yeah, wow, look at that. I never trust these. I don't know. I don't know how to trade those. It seems like they lose as much as they win. So just being patient. It's just been very choppy for a very long time, over an hour since back here, just chop fest. So definitely not getting any setups in my Nlts strategy in this kind of rangy chop. And I've gone 8 ticks here. Let me see. 90 and a quarter. No. So I won't have gone 8 ticks yet. So if this comes down, I would have lost. Anyway, so I'm just hanging out. I really liked my trade earlier. Clear trend. And there's some other things you could kind of take in some of this. But just none of it fits my what the setups I like to trade, or I'm willing to trade. So pause here and I'll be back. All right, so it looks like this big range didn't hold. Looks like we're in this tighter range right now, and curious. I just walked away for a second. So if I had taken a triple test here, 90 and a quarter, if I had taken this going for 8 ticks, I would have lost. If you're going for 4 ticks, you would have won, or 5 ticks. All right. So that's why I don't take those kinds of trades. And I haven't seen any setups. So not really clear what's happening here, but like yesterday I had like an opening range kind of thing, and I did a measured move, and it reached that yesterday when it was going up. So who knows if it works like that today as well. I mean, it's not really a range. But I'd say that's the opening range at the very least, right? So maybe it will work like that. Who knows? The other thing, what else can I do? Maybe you can measure from here. Do that. Just another idea. All right, so that's kind of how I'm seeing things at the moment. And let's see, first entry long, second entry long failed, far from the EMA. No trades. So pause here, see what happens. All right, so it's just about 9:30. Nothing too clear for me at the moment. And, had a trend down. I see it as a break in the low already. Had a trend up, expecting to retest the high. I think the ultimate destination could be down here at this blue line. But it's just, it's been chop fest for, like over an hour and a half, and big move down and back into a chop fest. So, all without any setups. So just hanging out. All right. I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. I just drew a bigger channel that I just noticed from up here. Catches this swing and this swing perfectly. And, if you do it from the original bottom, it looks like an overshoot. But I was just thinking that if you actually bring it all the way to the bottom, just the nature of it, because it's not confirmed till here and then it overshoots right away. I don't really think that makes sense to look at it that way. So, but if you look at it here, it looks like the midline is playing a role, all these touches. So that to me looks correct. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. I'll just end that there. So I have the line at the bottom as a possible target. And yeah, so I think that's all I've got. I haven't seen any setups. This has all been chop in here. So I'll chop all over the place. And so just waiting patiently. So I'm just looking at this here. You got a new low here. You got a first entry short, a second entry short, and a failure. But I had this original channel up. We already have a new high of that. And it's not clear to me. It doesn't look like it's going to trigger anyway, maybe. But even if it did, I don't know if it's clear enough to me to take this for a PATS trade. Although I guess you do have a second entry, or not a second entry, but a second leg measured move higher. So this might not be a bad trade. I also don't like the doji in front of it. So it's probably not a trade I'm going to take. Although I do like how this is now come all the way down and now is going up. So it's kind of tempting. Pretty tempting. We'll confirm the bigger channel. Yeah, I'm hoping it. Yeah, this is better. I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it didn't do it because I didn't want to be tempted by that. It's trying to finish up there. So is this a confirmed channel? I don't know. I mean, maybe it still fails, and because you got a break, you expect a new high. But even that's not enough room for my ATIC scalp. I'm just going to leave this alone. I'll pause here. And this here. So all right, remember there's a break, and I'll be back in a bit. Yeah, so this did break, and then it did trigger the failed second entry short. It's not one I would consider. Not a whole lot of room to the high. I mean, you're expecting it to break or reach this high. But not enough room for an ATIC scalp for sure. 84 and the high of this is 85. So you have 5 ticks to there. So I mean, I suppose I could have gone for 4 ticks, which I would have got right now. But it's hard for me to think that way because I don't like risking. The risk would be 10 ticks to only get 4 ticks. And it's very sideways here. So just one of those, these are the kinds of PATS trades that I'm trying to stay away from. Feels very subjective. I'll leave that there for now. All right, that's all I got. Be back when I see something. All right, so failure would have worked ultimately. Getting to the measure move. Wow, look at that. It looks like we've got a break of this channel now. So, there is the question, was this an overshoot or not? I mean, that looks legit. But it only reached down here once before it broke. So, again, another situation where trading PATS channels leaves some room for confusion. But we do have the break of this channel and new high. And so I'm just going to wait and see how this looks and how it plays out and go from there. Now that we reached that one already, maybe we can even try this. Should be about here. So that'll be interesting to see too, what happens at this point. All right, well, this is acting like it's going for a retest of these lows off the brown channel. It's just the way it appears. And if that's the case, we might get a PB somewhere down here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So maybe we'll get a first entry long, second entry long, maybe that fails. And then a PB below it is kind of what I'm hoping. Because I don't see anything else to the upside. I don't think that's anything. Unless you see this. If that's a channel, then maybe there's something to the upside. And this channel, not a clear break yet, but looks like it's going to be. So maybe we're going to retest for this channel. It's a possibility. So that's not a channel at all. This actually looks like an OJ to the upside, but I'm a little bit skeptical going into what was the original resistance or the original support. But I think this is an OJ. Nope, no OJ. Okay. I'm glad it's not, because I don't want to trade into this. All right, so I'm just sitting on my hands. I'm thinking it's possible that we can count this as a valid uptrend, and it's going for the retest of this. That's why it drives me a little crazy when I watch Mac, because he'll just draw either just this one or just this one, and then he doesn't draw anything else. And then you go, oh, well, why is it doing this? It already has a new high. Yeah, so sometimes you get caught up in a trade that you go, wait, I followed all the rules. And then all of a sudden, if you don't have this, you might not know why it's going for the retest. So I don't know. It's always the problem I have with Pats, just subjectivity, but who knows? All right, so how I'm seeing this is this yellow channel could be considered confirmed and valid, and we got a retest of the new high, and it's entirely possible that this actually was a overshoot. That looks pretty good. So maybe we're not going to retest the lows. We're back into the original opening range. Just have to see what happens from here. But I still have not seen any setups, so just waiting. All right, just nothing in way of setups. I've now made it so that this is one leg up, and measuring for a second leg up gets you about to the midline of the original range, opening range. So just hanging out and watching this. At least there's some movement now finally, so maybe something can develop here. It's 11 o'clock, so a little less than an hour and a half left in my day here. I'm looking at this here. We've got a low first entry short, second entry short with a measure move up. We're at the key entry point. The only thing I don't like about this is we're right at the previous day's close, and we're a little far from the EMA. So it's also a first entry long, second entry long at the key entry point. I prefer to be touching the EMA to take something like this. We do have a measured move from the bottom here, reaching up here, and I have a second leg of this reaching up here. So there are reasons to like it, but the reason I don't like it is what I already said, plus possible resistance right here. So, yeah, these are the areas where I just don't trust max setups. Second entry long, failed second entry short, Pikachu. But I don't know. I don't trust it. I'll come back and we'll see what happens. So these are like the cases where you have a feeling that it's going to work. First entry, second entry long, first entry short, second entry short. You got this bit of possible resistance. You got the previous day close, but you also have the measured move. So, you know, it's tempting, but then if you take these all the time, you'll get, well, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I get losers on these when I take them. So, especially going for 8 ticks and not 4. Let me see, 96.75. So you've still only gone 3 ticks from the entry. So you haven't even gone 4 ticks yet. There wasn't even room for 4 ticks to this, to the bodies. So if it works, I couldn't take it. If it doesn't work, I couldn't take it. I know other people definitely take this trade. So be interesting to see if it ends up getting up here or not. But you can definitely see that it seems like there's some resistance at play here. It's not closing above it yet. But I do still think it's probably going to work. So that's the way it goes. All right, so let's see here. Definitely worked for 4 ticks. Let me see the high, 96.75, and now the high over here. So it still hasn't worked for 8 ticks yet. So I'm always interested to see these situations. To me, this is like one of those where if you went for the 4 ticks, you get it, even though there was enough room. But if I'm going for 8 ticks, maybe it turns into a loss. It's one of those trades where it's a good trade, semi-good trade, but not good if you're going for more than 4 ticks. Definitely looks like rejection right off of what I considered resistance there, potentially. So, getting close to, this was low. So 94.75 would be my stop, 2 ticks away from it. I mean, honestly, if I was taking this trade, I'd have to go for just 4 ticks, and probably safer to go for 3. It would be pretty foolish to go for more than 4 ticks in this spot, in my opinion, based on my experience. But it looks like we would have just got taken out. Yeah. Yeah. So I would have just lost that trade if I was going for 8 ticks if I took it. And that's why I skipped it. All right, let's see if anything comes up. It's just after 11:30, so in my last hour here. Looking to see what's going on here. Had this uptrend, had a break and new high on 1 bar, I think. And we're getting into possible PB territory down here.
Order submitted.
Seem to have a confirmed down channel. So just keeping my eye on this. PB would need to close down here somewhere. First entry long, second entry long failure. It was too stacked up sideways for me to consider taking that. 3 bars stacked. So this, if it is a PB, would be coming after the failed second entry long, which is a good sign. It's now 12, so I have 30 minutes or less left of my trading day here. I'm just waiting to see if this is going to turn back down and give me some kind of PB entry down here. For anyone that doesn't know, and if you're watching this, Apex started a Discord channel today, official Apex Discord. So if you don't know about that and you're trading with Apex accounts, you might want to look into that. It seems like you'll be able to get a lot of feedback, information, and be able to talk to other traders. And it seems like they have a lot of mods that respond to you really quickly. So it's worth checking that out if you haven't heard about that yet. Still waiting for possible PB down here. And the only issue I have is it's kind of going to be near where the opening range support originally was. But we've like traded through it quite a few times at this point, so I'm not sure how important that is, but that was kind of like the original spot. And it's had some reactions there a little bit. So I don't want to trade right into that. I kind of want to make sure I have, at least 8 ticks of room to it if it sets up. And honestly, it might not even come down here and trigger. I'm going to pause and see what happens here. I just modified the channel a little bit. I think it works nicely this way. Either way, at this point, I think I'm more expecting a break like we have here and a retest of this low. Either way. The problem for me is if a PB does happen now, there'll already be a break and a new low by the time the PB forms. So I'm kind of thinking that that's not what I'm looking for anymore.
Order
I'm
canceled.
going to cancel my order. Possible to look for a second entry short or something to retest the lows if that sets up. But PB, just because my current rules using the channels, even if it sets up as a gold PB per my rules, it will be a white PB based on the channel. So I'm still going to just be observing that for a while and see how those play out and see if they're still safe to take or not. Just trying to see if, I mean, they're 14-2, so I have 16 trades. I've lost two times on the PB, so it's not like I've lost a lot with them that I need to be too concerned about that, the channel rule with that. But I am wondering if those losses are, due to something like that, just context reasons. So I think one of the PBs actually, when I went back and looked, was not really, shouldn't have really been a trade for me, based on a rule that I think I need to put in place for it. But it wasn't really a set rule at the time I took it. So in either case, 2 losses out of 16 on a setup is, can feel pretty confident in that so far. All right, I'm going to pause here and see if something sets up. Otherwise, going to be stopping soon. All right, I'm just noticing something here that's interesting. Actually, looks like we have a channel, a big channel going up. That looks pretty valid. And you don't see Mac draw these at the end of the day, but I draw a lot of channels that I don't see Mac draw, because to me, if you can confirm them, then they're valid, and they seem like they tend to play out that way. So that's something I picked up from my friend Saul's. He has a hybrid system that he trades, and he draws even more lines than this, but kind of taking that concept from him, and every time we have a valid channel, I'm looking to see if there's a reason why it should retest or not. So like this blue one's a good example. Like Mac would never draw this channel, because if he has one of these channels, you have a break and 2 legs to a new high, so he wouldn't draw that. But in this case, I draw it, and I like it because there's still a reason for it to not retest, which is this candle is a break and new high on one candle, one bar. So, before that reason, I could erase it, but while this action is happening, I like to see it, and I just like to leave it as a record of my trading day. When I go back and review it, I could see what I was thinking, why I would or wouldn't. And there is a setup that set up right off of that as well. I didn't take it, and I already talked about why, but it just allows you to see more things, I think, by drawing everything if you're trading Pat system. So because I have this green channel now, that really invalidates a reason to take a PB going short. PB would have to be down here. So I absolutely would not be looking for a short in this situation. This, I am looking for a retest of this before it moves higher. So maybe we'll get a break of the green channel, and maybe I can look for something to go long. And, maybe this is still in play. Maybe I can move this over here, and maybe this is in play for the end of the day, which would vibe with my green channel. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. I'm looking and thinking long. Not much time left for me to find something, but that's where I'm at now, having found this green channel. All right, so it's looking like it's going to respect this channel and go up. I see a first entry short. Maybe there'll be a second entry short, but I don't like a doji here. Anytime I see a doji, I'm like, with Pat's strategy, I'm like, it freaks me out. As far as taking a trade behind it. So, and there's still this resistance here, potentially. Double top. I'm just looking back at this again. I mean, maybe really all we had here was downtrend like that. Is this really valid? It looks valid. Looks valid, but I can also see an argument to say that this is the channel down, break, new low, working up, first entry short, second entry short. I don't like 3 bars stacking up, so I'm not going to take a trade like that for a pat system. And I don't know if you can draw anything. Doesn't look like it. So that's what I'm seeing right now. It's 12:20. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes and then call it a day, which probably means I'm calling it a day right now, but I'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, so there is a failed second entry short here. First entry short, second entry short, just triggered. Again, same problem for me. I mean, I got 3 bars stacked here. I've got the previous day close right above. I've got this known resistance above, even though we're inside the channel and the measured move. And, you know, it looks like, why wouldn't it work? There's only 5 ticks to the resistance from the entry. Curious.
Order submitted.
Is it really 5 ticks? It's 96. Yeah, so you got five ticks.
Order canceled.
To there. So I definitely wouldn't go for 8 ticks, and you don't even have room to the previous day close line to get 4 ticks. So not a trade I would take. Didn't see any Nlts setups today that were valid, that fit the, I mean, really not even any that, oh yeah, there was one, the PB. I forgot about that. There was a PB early on. So, but then when I refreshed, there wasn't. So this is how I saw the day. That's where I'm going to end it for the day. Just the one trade. Failed second entry short, Pat's trade. So I'm now 3-1 on YouTube with Pat's strategy. None for my strategy today. And 41.11 overall. And 71% discount code if anyone needs it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. Hope you like the format of this. And maybe one day I'll try streaming. I don't know. I keep thinking about it and never do it. This is my 8th week on YouTube, and that's it for Wednesday. And I'll do my wrap-up video. So check out the wrap-up video. I'll keep it short and sweet, and do it again tomorrow. Thanks.